Lemonada.
My friends at Lemonada Media have a new podcast I'm so excited to tell you about called I'm Sorry. I'm Sorry is all about apologies and how they play out in the court of public opinion. It's hosted by comedians Oha Lopez, Mohamed El Sheikhi, and Kiki Monique. Each week, this show unpacks the latest and greatest in Twitter gaffes, petty beef, and not-so-subtle shade. Forgive, forget, or cancel. Let's process our public and personal controversies together. Yes, that means listener drama too. Check out I'm Sorry to explore the latest in celebrity apologies, help guests and listeners get their own redemption, and say sorry to stars who never got the apology they deserved. Listen to debate on when to let stuff go and when to say I'm sorry. I'm Sorry premieres August 27th wherever you get your podcasts. Here's an exclusive clip. To hear more, search for I'm Sorry where you're listening right now.
So just to start us off, I want to talk today about Christine Diane Teigen. So I don't know if you know this person, this woman, this celebrity, this beautiful model. So I think the reason I want to talk about her in particular, because I feel like she's kind of a microcosm of the entire sort of like idea of apologies. I want to talk about what she represents. And honestly, I kind of just want to know more about her. I was a big Chrissy Teigen fan, and I just thought she had something that I never had, which is like a comeback queen. A killer comeback is always something that like I have truly appreciated. My best friends and the people that I love the most have a very sharp tongue. And I'm more of like a carefully worded 500-word essay sent to you a week later. So that's kind of my vibe. So what do you guys think about Chrissy and just kind of starting off that way?
Well, I mean, first of all, we talked about, elementary school. If you want to learn how to do an apology, I feel like Chrissy Teigen will become the textbook, the face of the textbook for these future apologies, because she really is. When you think of like the I'm sorries, I think she comes first to mind for everyone. I mean, I didn't know too much about her like at the start, but through her tweets, I got to know her pretty well. And I think it was after she was sort of doing the problematic stuff, but Yeah.
And I think that she's someone who basically apologized in every format. Like she did Medium articles, she did tweets, she did note apps. And I mean, we'll talk about which one of these worked and which did not as we go on. But like you said, like textbook and apologies is just so many examples and consequences, comebacks. And she also demanded apologies from other people. And we're going to talk about how good these apologies were.
I would love to kind of just start off with who she is as a person. And I was trying to kind of get some empathy going because kind of here in 2021, I just didn't have a lot of that in me for Chrissy. And I was like, well, she's a full human person. So I want to kind of delve in and look at her background and just kind of see where she comes from. So just to kind of start off, this is going to be a half biography, half hot takes on why I think Chrissy Teigen is how she is, how her brain formed into this thing that she created. So to start off, Christine Diane Teigen is an American, you guys, born in Delta, Utah. Good for her. I was not born in America, so good for you, Chrissy Teigen. You were already here. I had to get here. It was complicated. But she kind of spent most of her childhood moving around the country with her father, who was an electrician. So right off the bat, I'm like, okay, she's kind of a little bit salt of the earth, even though she's like mega hot, Apparently, and this is one of my favorite Chrissy Teigen facts, is that her parents operated a tavern called Porky's. Ooh. And I can already tell you right now that I love it. It's probably not open anymore, but I want to go in the past to Porky's.
Wait, was it named after the movie, or was the movie named after that place? Or neither?
I think they're completely separate entities, but I'm very glad that you brought that up because either way, I'm a fan. Either way.
I just love the name, yeah.
I think you left out the most important part, though, Oha. She was born November 30th, which means she's a Sagittarius. And as a Sagittarius, if I had known this would have explained so much. I actually would have like stopped the deep dive there because we're crazy, but like in the best possible way. Like, we're loud. We can be tactless, but people love us. And so they accept it as part of our whole package until they don't.
What if that's the whole episode, just being like, oh, she is that, and I guess what else do you want to know? Honestly, like, go read about it. It is what it is. I mean, you have to forgive her. She has no control over this.
I'm kind of like, I'm already on that train. I'm like, oh, I kind of forgive her already, but let's keep going because it might not. Yeah.
So I'm a Virgo, and honestly, you guys, I have no idea what that means. I don't know. People tell me things, and I'm like, okay, that sounds right. That doesn't sound right. I'm thoroughly confused about astrology.
Classic Virgo.
Classic. Okay, so Chrissy. So basically her dad, his name is Ron Teagan Sr., which again, a father named Ron is, again, just feeds into this Porky's thing even further. So according to this Vanity Fair article that I poured over, so Chrissy's mom and dad, they met in Thailand. And then after meeting them, Ron, her dad, brought Chrissy's mother and then an older half-sister back to his trailer in the United States. So he literally just grew up in a trailer. And then Chrissy was born in Delta, Utah. And then after that, they relocated to Snohomish, Washington. And that's when they opened the Porky's Tavern. So, as she's growing up, I'm getting this image of her just kind of like not really like maybe necessarily understanding her place in the US and moving around and having like a really varied background. I mean, Mohamed, I think you and also Kiki have like very distinct backgrounds. What was it like kind of growing up for you guys, sort of different or kind of othered, I guess?
Well, I mean, I didn't grow up here. I came here as like,
Right.
like I was 23 when I first came to the US. But I mean, I understand just being like in a place where, people don't talk like you. They don't like, they don't look like you. And you also have to like figure out like where you belong in all of this. And I guess for her, like it was, like being a woman of color, obviously, but also like traveling around. And, like she has a mom from Thailand. Her dad is from Norway. So I feel like even like her family is trying to figure out where they belong in this like whole like, like country. So it's hard when like even your family is just like, yeah, we also have no idea what we're doing. So
I mean, I felt like I had the opposite because my family was in the same place their entire lives. And when they were growing up, the area they were in was predominantly Black. But then as the suburbs came, it became a predominantly white neighborhood, but my family still stayed. So when I came along, I was like the only Black kid in my class, like through most of my like, from elementary through high school. So the only Black people I knew were really my family. So I definitely had a different time. Like fitting in was different for me. My parents, accepted all my friends and probably got used to like me even like, liking white boys and all of those things. So I just had to fit in.
Good for you, Kiki. Good for you admitting that on air.
yeah.
Wow, girl. Brave. I won't call you brave for too many things, but that one.
You did it. You won. I'll give you one of my medals.
Apologize right now.
I'm sorry.
They're coming for you.
They are.